I wanted to come on here and talk about this Denzel Washington, Ellen Pompeo fiasco that just kind of stirred up on social media recently. I'm recording this on September 30th, 2021. Now, we all know who Denzel Washington is. Like, he needs no introduction. Of course, Ellen Pompeo, outside of Grey's Anatomy, who really knows who she is? I'm gonna be quite honest. And I never even watched Grey's Anatomy, so I don't know who she is. And she has come under fire because apparently there was an episode that Denzel Washington was called in to direct by Shonda Rhimes, who was the showrunner for Grey's Anatomy. And apparently Denzel, according to her, said some things to her in a tone that she did not like. Now, I'm gonna pause right here right quick and go back just a little bit. Do y'all remember when, I think it was last year, when Katie Couric came out and said that Denzel Washington spoke to her in a tone that she felt was aggressive in an interview that she did with him back in 2004? Mind you, she's talking about something that happened in 2004 in 2020. We're talking like, how many years ago was that? Over a decade ago. And people came for Katie Couric, just like people are coming for Ellen Pompeo. And it's not because Denzel Washington is who he is and he's a phenomenal actor, he's a legend, he's an icon. It's just that they are doing this, and for what? The thing is, Denzel Washington is not even being rude. It's just the fact that he, that's just how he talks. He's always talked in an aggressive tone, unless he's being extremely calm, and no one has a problem with it. But I find it interesting that two white women, Katie Couric and Ellen Pompeo, felt some type of way about it. Now, as we all know, Grey's Anatomy showrunner is Shonda Rhimes, a black woman. She called in Denzel Washington, a black man, to direct it. If anything, Ellen, you should have been honored to be in his presence, not the other way around. You know greatness, or you should know greatness when you see it. And apparently he probably saw an amateur in you that day. But see, here's the thing. Ellen, when in this recent revelation, to me it screams, I am the white woman. How dare you, as the black man, talk to me in that tone? How dare you? That's what I got from it. See, a lot of these white women who claim to be so liberal, they are only liberal to a certain extent. That's why, to the black women out there, y'all do not need to be walking around holding hands and doing and cutting the Jubilee jig with them, especially with the Me Too heifers. Because see how she is when a black man is in her presence? And I'm talking about a stern, solid black man like Denzel Washington. And I noticed that Denzel Washington, they can't get him on the typical thing that they like to get black men on, which is sexual assault or domestic violence or anything like that. So they have to come after his character of him being a man, a strong, masculine man, because in her eyes, his tone was him being the example of toxic masculinity. I keep telling y'all that toxic masculinity at its core is aimed at heterosexual black men. Katie Couric is no different. Now, like I said, the two different white women, but they say almost the exact same thing. And the thing is, Ellen thought that she was going to have people on her side. She thought she was going to have people on her side, but boy, was she wrong, because the internet went in on her ass for even saying such a thing. I'm telling you, Denzel Washington is one of the premier people of our time. This guy is rarely, if ever, in a scandal. So he's always going to be protected, especially by a lot of people who support him, which is black people. So for her to come out and say that and thought it was going to have some grounds and some standing, she was dead wrong. I wouldn't be surprised if she's going to be forced into giving an apology, but something tells me her ego is not going to allow her to do that, because remember what I said, she is the, and when I say the, I'm talking about THEE, white woman. She's the premier white woman. So I'm going to go ahead and read this article that's coming from Newsweek. Ellen Pompeo is today facing backlash after sharing a story about her heated argument with Denzel Washington when he directed an episode of Grey's Anatomy. The Oscar-winning actor directed an episode of the long-running medical drama back in 2016. Look at this, 2016. We're talking 5 years ago. And the star of the show has opened up about them not working well together on set and revealed that they went at it while filming. The Meredith Grey star spoke about an incident that occurred while filming the season 12 episode of The Sound of Silence on her podcast, Tell Me with Ellen Pompeo. Now look at that. She got to do a podcast now. Denzel Washington ain't got to do no podcast. He can go years without acting in a single film and won't be on a podcast unless he's invited on a podcast. Look at her. Explaining that she often improvised lines that were not in the script, Pompeo recalled deviating from the script during an emotional scene. She said she improvised the line, "Look at me when you apologize, look at me," but that Washington stopped rolling and intervened. That wasn't in the dialogue, and Denzel went ham on my ass, she said, adding he was like, "I'm the director, don't you tell him what to do." Pompeo was offended by Washington's notes on her performance and continued, "I was like, listen, MFer, this is my show, this is my set, who are you telling? You barely even know where the bathroom is." That's what she said to Denzel Washington. She said, "Listen, MFer, this is my show, this is my set." Hold on. I didn't know your name changed from Ellen Pompeo to Shonda Rhimes, because last I checked, this is her show. She seeked you out as talent for this role, not the other way around. But again, she let that ego go to her head, and she, in that moment, activated her Karenisms, as I call it, and thought that she was going to talk to the likes of Denzel Washington and talk down on him and act like he was supposed to just back down and grovel at her. Who does Ellen Pompeo think she is? That's probably what Denzel Washington was saying in his mind if he didn't say it verbally. And then she says, "You barely even know where the bathroom is." This woman is very disrespectful. Pompeo said that Washington only did the show because his wife is a big fan. I think he saw it as a good exercise to just come in and direct something quick. She added, "Denzel's a movie star, right? He doesn't know ish about directing TV. This guy has directed film, which is on a larger scale than television, Ellen, so I don't know what you're talking about. If he can direct the film, he could very damn well direct a show." Pompeo said the clash was likely due to the fact that they are both actors. "So we didn't get through it without a fight, but that's the actors for you." Well, that can't be the case, because why didn't any of the other actors on the set get into it with him? Why was it only you? To me, it sounds like you're the common denominator. Now, if Denzel was to say get into an altercation with other actors on the set, and in the same tone as how she's saying it, then we could say, okay, maybe there's an issue. But she's the only one who had a problem. She's not the only one on the show. This is not a one-woman show, but the way she's framing it, she's making it seem like she is the show, like she's the star. And granted, she might get a higher pay scale than everyone else on the show. I can't call it because I never watched the show. I never got into it. But her ego came all the way out in full force in this instance, and she let it rip. And now she's facing the backlash, and rightfully so. Despite the harsh comments on their time working together, Pompeo went on to say that she has the utmost respect for Washington as an actor and director, and that working with him was amazing. So how did you go from that previous tone to this lighthearted one? I don't know how that happened, because there's no way you can talk down to me the way that you did and then try to be buddy with me in the end. And I think she only threw this part in here because she already knew what was about to happen. The internet was about to be on her ass, but it was already too late. The damage was already done. Excuse me. Pompeo's comments have not gone down well on Twitter, where she's being heavily criticized, with some people labeling her disrespectful for the way she spoke about Washington. Ellen Pompeo really disrespected Denzel Washington and proudly told the world like we were going to be on her side. Exactly. Like I said in the beginning, she thought that people were going to be on her side. Katie Couric thought the same thing too, and that didn't work out well for her. While another added, Denzel Washington, "Ellen, can you move slightly to the left? Ellen Pompeo, do you know who the F I am? This is my set. This is my show." And the thing is, she probably overinflated the situation to make it seem like he really came at her. And the thing is, let's just hypothetically say that this happened the way that she's explaining it. I'm sure other people on the set would have seen that, because She never mentioned that Denzel Washington pulled her to the side and told her to do it like this. He said that he stopped right there in the middle of filming to confront her, which means everybody else would have saw it. So why is Ellen only telling this story and we haven't heard this from anybody else? But she felt inclined to tell this story and thought people was going to just run out and console her. But she was absolutely wrong. So, Ellen, you told this story for nothing, and it makes you look like a bitch. That's probably because she is one. The timeline eating Ellen Pompeo up, and I can't defend her this time because she was wrong. And why are you telling us the story unprovoked like it's tea, said another. Another person added, I don't know if Ellen Pompeo, revealing that she yelled at Oscar-winning Denzel on the set of Grey's Anatomy as the flex she thought it would be. She seems like a Karen, and if I hear her say one more time she's married to a black man and has black kids, ... Oh, so she is. Oh, so I guess she felt like because she's married to a black man, because I didn't know who she was, I didn't really even care, that she could just talk to any black men like that. Makes you wonder how she talks to her husband. Well, guess what, Ellen? Denzel Washington is not your husband. If you do indeed talk to your husband like that, and if her husband is out there listening and you let your wife talk to you like that, I don't know how to feel for you. But last time I checked, Denzel Washington's wife name is Pauletta Washington. And I'm almost certain that she doesn't even talk to her husband in the same tone that Ellen berated Denzel Washington that day. And she had to be feeling some type of way to even come out and say something like this and then wait 5 years to say it. She never mentioned any of this back in 2016 or 2017 or whatever the case, or anything closely related or closer to that particular date. She waits till now to say it on her podcast. And decided to climb up on that hill and die on it. And that's all she can do. And that's pretty much all she can do. That's the hill right up there. And that's where Ellen Pompeo climbed up and died on it. Plant a flag there. She's done. Stick a fork in her. But this is the second time that we have seen a white woman try to berate Denzel Washington because of his quote unquote tone of speak. Because it's always been said that black men tend to be a little bit more aggressive when they talk. And a lot of the times it's because we may be passionate about something. You got to think, Denzel Washington has been acting way longer than Ellen Pompeo. That man has more talent in his left toenail than she has in her entire little body. A lot of us grew up watching Denzel, and we've seen him do a wide range of roles. Some have seen him on Broadway. So this guy has a range, and he directs and he produces. Put some respect on that man's name. But that's just how he is. And you got to think also, Denzel Washington is from New York. And if y'all know New Yorkers, they are some of the most blunt people you will ever meet. But that's just how he is. He's not a shy, sit back, turn into a hermit in the corner, don't look at me type of person. That's not who he is. And if that's the case, Ellen, because the way she's trying to make it sound, it's almost like she's trying to make it sound like, if this happened to me, I'm sure this has happened to other people. So hopefully other people will rally to my cause and say something about him as well. Because, Denzel has worked with a wide range of actors and actresses and producers. You know what she's trying to do? She's trying to do the whole, oh, he's difficult to work with thing. That's another thing they like to get with black people on. They did that with Monique. Oh, she's difficult to work with. Whenever they don't like someone, oh, they're difficult to work with. They're trying to do that. She's trying to do the same thing with Denzel Washington. And it's not working out for her. So, Ellen, you told all of this for nothing. You could have gone to your grave with this one. Like, for real, for real. Because at the end of the day, who are we going to remember more when they pass on? Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments.